Okay, everybody has trauma. If you're a human being, you're in this human form, you're gonna have trauma on some level. What's trauma? It just means there's some feelings, there's some energy that's stuck, there's some emotions maybe that came up at some point, you didn't feel it, it got suppressed, it's still there. It's like feelings buried alive, right? And then that subconsciously, it bleeds through into your life, and then you react and act in certain ways that aren't really balanced when a situation presents itself. Instead of just being balanced, if somebody, cuts you off on the road, instead of being like, oh, okay, bless you, brother, you might, hope you don't have an accident. Instead of doing that, you might reach under the seat for something and then go follow him and take care of it, something like that. So why? Because it activated, suppressed anger and rage, etc. What are some examples for me, though? So we can give practical things. Okay, growing up, I had health issues. And I was on heavy psychotropic drugs and such when I was going to school. And so I would get teased by the kids, and I would get misunderstood by the teachers and adults. I'd be tired. I'm on these heavy drugs. I want to go to sleep. The teacher hit my desk. Okay, you got to pay attention. All right, I'll pay attention. Let me try. And so I had a hard time. So later, when I hit about 12, I was like old enough now where I'm like, I don't want to take this stuff anymore. So I stopped. I didn't care what the doctor and adults said anymore. I was like, no, I'm not taking this. And then I found weed. I started smoking weed. I'm like, yeah, this is better. But then later, that messed me up too. So I had to go to a rehab, and I got clean. And weed just was never for me. It made me allergic. I'm like allergic to it. But anyway, it was a breath of fresh air after taking these heavy synthetic chemistry that the doctors were trying to give me. So when I got off all that stuff, I had this major rage and resentment toward anybody that messed with me on any level. If you looked at me wrong, I'm like, I guess it's time, let's do it. I was looking for it. I was like, please somebody mess with me, please. Please, hey man, can you mess with me, please? I'll pay you to mess with me. Because I had this repressed emotion, this heavy, super heavy. I needed to get it out in this particular way. This is what subconsciously I was, I didn't have MMA or I mean, I was trying to exercise and stuff, but that might take the edge off. But if you don't deal with that root stuff, it's going to come up in your daily life. You're going to hate authority, just anybody that disrespects you. Like a lot of these MMA people, actually. That's not normal. That's not healthy. It's not balanced. You don't want to be a slave to these impulses, these negative impulses you have, because you just end up in jail or prison or kill somebody or get killed, and you're gonna have to work through this at some point in some life, on some plane. So why not do it now? So that's an example of that. Another example of you can say hidden trauma is if you didn't get much attention or organic love, like everybody almost, from your mom, let's say, if you're a guy, and if you're a girl, from your dad. So in my case, that was the case. And so then I would go out when I was just, every time I went out, I was starving for some female attention. I didn't know it. I just remember I'm always looking ooh, I would notice the girls. I'm talking 10 years old. I would just notice, I would really, and if a girl liked me and smiled and we talked, I just was it was such a big deal. It was I so needed it. Why? Because to deal with that deficit of a lack of female energy growing up, you see? So I was something was trying to balance that trauma. But then I would just get super needy and attached to them, and then that would make them want to leave, and then I'd be crushed. That's an example of trauma. So how do you deal with the trauma, right? You want to know the solution. Yeah, I did too. And nobody could tell me really. They'd say, well, do this and you do that, and okay, do some reprogramming maybe. And I'm like, man, none of this works. So I pioneered it. I had to figure it out myself. And I'm telling you, there's no one answer to this. There's no one technique. That's why I simplify and say, and you can see the playlist I put here, the 8 healthy lifestyle habits that help you grow spiritually. When we're doing things, good company, good environment, good diet, spiritual practice, etc., introspection, when we're doing things, that raises the vibration. When we raise the vibration, whatever we're not looking at inside, that's going to come up. It's just going to come up. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. It's going to come up. Now, if you want to go to therapy a little bit to help accelerate some things, and if that's right for you, okay, you can do that, or go do some ceremony with plant medicine, okay. But those things are assistive. The real deal solution is living a high vibrational life. Semen retention, how did I forget that? Preserving your sexual energy. If you're a woman, you need that energy. You preserve that energy is going to turn into, it's going to work for you. It's a purification mechanism. It's going to bring up this stuff this trauma that we're not looking at. It's like the energy. We need energy. We need vibration. So when you have high vibration, high energy, it's going to unlock this stuff that's like locked in a safe inside yourself that's causing you to behave and suffer in ways that maybe you don't need to if this was released. So that's how you do it. And then intuition will also activate. And so when the trauma comes up, you'll know how to deal with it. You'll know how to be with it. You're like, you know, oh, this is coming. This is some strong emotion. Maybe I need to go chill and go over here for a minute or call somebody to, you know, like, you don't want to act on it. That's the point. Like, intuition will tell you in that moment how to navigate that. There's no one answer that I can tell you to how to deal with something that hasn't happened yet. You have to deal with that in the moment. And sometimes there's not time to call your therapist and say, how should I deal with this? You have to depend on your own inner sanction and strength and listen to intuition. It will guide you. And this is a messy process. It's not easy. But what to do? This is the game we're playing in. We have to transcend this. The way is through, not around. And so you accept this and you do it and you live a high vibe life so that then you have the strength and courage and energy to do it. This is what I've discovered. This is what works for me. And like, I don't know what else to say. That's the best way to do it. You get to buy. See, no, people don't want, like, we're conditioned, especially in the West, to just have an easy fix. Just do this technique, go to this class, take this pill, do this, and then you're good. It's just, life doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. We gotta, you know, we gotta have some grit. We gotta be willing to walk and trudge down this road for a little bit, you know, so that then we can really organically experience the wholeness in ourselves. There's no shortcut to that. And this is what life's about. This is the highest purpose in life, to do that. Not to make $1 million and to get a Ferrari and all that. That's fine if you want to do that. Osho bought, what, 100 Rolls Royces? Just for fun, though. He was like, just trying to stir people up. But, like, that's not going to give you happiness. Happiness, wholeness, is when you feel clean and balanced inside. That takes a bit of work. But this is the highest purpose. That's the only thing that's going to make you feel content. You cannot get content from external things. It's not going to happen. Temporary contentment, yeah. Followed by, like, a feeling like, damn, this didn't do it either. All right, what's next? All right, hope you got something from that video. Leave me any questions you have. Go see my other channel, Beyond the Alchemy. It's about semen retention if you haven't. And my spiritual channel, Spiritual Renaissance, if you want to see that. And I do consultations if you feel moved to. My email is on the YouTube banner. I'll see you.